Alright, and welcome back. In this video I'm going to be working on the left elevator, getting it to almost to the point where it's complete. Again, I'm working on getting both elevators and the trim tab to the point to where I'm ready to apply the Pro Seal and glue the ribs to the trailing edge. So here, doing some final riveting on the top skin of the left elevator, and go through and rivet both the top skin and the bottom skin to the forward spar. So at this point I've riveted the forward spar to the mid ribs with the blind rivets, the LP4-3s, and I get as far as I can before I run out of those blind rivets. Again, I've spoken in the past videos about it, but got to as far as I could before I ran out of the LP4-3s. There's several of them that I had to drill out and redo throughout the various builds, the rudder, the horizontal stabilizer, things like that. So I had to reorder about 100 more LP4-3 blind rivets, and waiting for vans to deliver those. So in the meantime, finished as much as I could, and then waited for the delivery, which I finally got the day before yesterday. And I've since been able to finish the right elevator up to this point as well. So here, just going on and attaching the bottom skin to the forward spar. There are about 6 holes there where you see the blue tape that you don't rivet until the very end, and that's just so you have access to the inside, and are able to finish everything on the outer edge of the elevator, and get to the point here pretty soon where I'm able to finally rivet those. So the instructions will tell you specifically, you don't rivet these 6. I think they're on the inner side of the elevator here. There was 3 on that side that you didn't rivet. That way you had access to the trim tab motor area, the doubler for that area. So make sure as you're looking through the plans that you're paying attention and looking out for the areas that it tells you not to rivet just yet. And so now I'm at the point where the plans have you basically close everything up. So as I'm going through this, it's a lot. Like I said, the elevators have been a larger process than I had originally anticipated. There's just a lot of small, intricate pieces and little braces here and there that you have to make sure you line up just right. And then also you want to make sure as you're building that you're doing everything you can to try to ensure that the elevator stays straight, because it's a lot of relatively loose pieces while you're building it. And so there are a few steps where the instructions tell you to weight it down and make sure that you keep the frame straight while you're riveting. And so just make sure you pay attention to those steps, and then do as best you can. I think I'm going to go down to Lowe's, and they have basically these shot or lead weight bags that you can get, 25-pound bags. So I think I'm going to go down there and get a few of those. I kind of just ran through the garage and looked for things that weighed a little more than a couple pounds and put them on a board. But I'd like to get some of those bags and use those instead. So now I'm about to put the piano hinge together, and again, this is the critical step that you want to make sure that as you're building that you do everything you can to make sure that lines up correctly and is straight. It's one of the big talking points through a lot of builders websites that I've seen, that sometimes it doesn't go so well. And so as you're building that piano hinge and drilling the hinge onto the elevator and to the trim tab, you really want to measure it out and make sure that it's straight as you're going along, just to minimize the chance that binds when you go to put it together. I was fortunate that it turned out really well and didn't have any hang up points or anything like that. So here I am working on the trim tab motor and the support structure for it. Basically, the frame for this all sits on the access panel that goes into the opening of the left elevator, and so you make the frame and put it together, and then the base of the electric motor sits on that frame, and then you attach the control rod to it that'll attach to the elevator trim tab itself. And so here I'm just drilling out the pieces to match drill for the base of the motor and the support frame for it. Also, the first part that you saw there was the pigtail for it, and the instructions will have you shape the corners. You'll trim the corners of the plastic connector so that it'll fit through the plastic grommet of the forward rib of the left elevator. And then also you'll apply silicone to the inside of the connector where the wires go in and the pins go into the connector itself, just to seal it in. And then the rest of this is just going to be constructing the frame. I unfortunately ran out of the LP4-3 blind rivets, as I'd spoken to in the previous video, and so this is as far as I'm able to get before I can continue on to the right elevator and get it caught up to this point as well. I ended up ordering 100 more LP4-3 blind rivets, so hopefully I won't have any more issue, and I'll be able to finish the rest of this build. From this point, like I said, I'm getting the elevators to the same point to where I can glue the aft ribs onto all three pieces, and then I'll pretty much be done with the elevators, and the next section will be to start on the fuselage itself. So this is probably only going to be another month, maybe two, I think, depending on my schedule and my job situation. So this is going along a lot quicker than I had anticipated. As I've said in the past, I started this November 1st essentially, and this is now, as I'm making this video, this is now February 17th, and I'm almost to the point to where I can start working on the fuselage. So probably April, maybe May timeframe, I should be done with the entire empennage kit. And initially I had given myself a year to put this together, obviously doing a lot faster and a lot quicker than I had anticipated. So hopefully I'll be able to start getting everything together to get the wings ordered. Those are about an 8-week lead time once I order those, so I'll have a little bit of a gap between finishing this and getting the wing kit, but the wings I think will take a little bit longer, and we'll see how it goes. It's been a fun process, and it's a learning experience, that's for sure. So if anyone is out there thinking about doing something like this, I highly recommend it. I don't have a lot of experience with metalworking, and all of this is a lot of self-teaching and watching others how they've done things. So it's a fun process. It's a lot easier than you think, and I highly recommend anyone that might be interested to go ahead and go through with it and just get the first kit and start working on it. It's a lot of fun. So with that, I'm going to let this run out here, and my next couple videos should be just about complete with the elevators, and we'll go from there. We'll see you next time.